Welcome to Access Sportsnet Dodgers, brought to you by Mercury Insurance. John Hartung alongside James Loney and Nomar Garciaparra. The Dodgers' 6-game winning streak comes to an end on a night when Roki Sasaki continues to throw the ball really well. 5 1/3 innings, gives up just 1 run. He strikes out 7, only 1 walk. And the Dodgers built a 3-1 lead in this game in the bullpen, which has been so good this season. Tanner Scott has been so good this season, James, but he was touched up for 3 runs there in the 8th inning, and the Dodgers fall 4-3.
Yeah, I mean, give a lot of credit to Roki, building off a great May right now, and I really feel like he was just locked in. That split was diving down. I was really actually impressed with his slider tonight. The slider was tight, so really glad that he can continue to throw strikes and only have 1 walk. And obviously with Tanner Scott, he's been doing great all year. I mean, his ERA is probably around a 2 right now. Just a couple pitches left out, and the balls were hit hard.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think his ERA is just above 2, especially giving up those runs. He has been outstanding. Listen, that's going to happen. There are going to be days when you just have that hiccup. The bullpen has been incredible. So has Tanner Scott's been incredible all season long. It happens. But at the same time, I think the offense will look back and say, man, there were some opportunities. They had 11 at-bats, runners in scoring position, which is a good thing. They had a couple hits. You're facing another good pitcher on the other side. They just couldn't manufacture more runs to possibly give them just that little bit of edge. It was a well-played game, and like I said, Phillies, they hung in there, they persevered, ended up getting them down late. But this was one of those that you thought might you be able to squeeze out, especially how great the bullpen has been all season.
And they're up 3-1. Tanner Scott gets the ball in the top of the 8th inning, Nomar, and the first hitter of the inning is Crawford, a young rookie, and Tanner Scott gets ahead 0-2 and then gives up. Really got to credit Crawford, a good piece of hitting to start that inning, but it seemed like that was kind of a sign of things to come. He would get to 2 strikes and guys just couldn't put him away.
Yeah, there were times he wasn't really hitting his spot like we've seen him this year. Last year when he found himself in trouble, when he struggled, a lot of his pitches would go over the middle of the plate. They weren't really hitting the corners. And you know what? Today was just kind of evident of that, where those balls were kind of more leaking over the plate. Because even some of the balls that he got outside, they were some really hard contact. And then there was another one there where it was up when the long ball, which he was susceptible to last year, where it would be that fastball that wasn't quite really at the top with life to get the swing and miss that we've seen all season long. Yeah. This one was just more over the more heart of the plate, not quite at the top level that he wanted, and it didn't have that same zip or that same life at the end of it, and they were able to hit it out. Listen, that happens. I hope Tanner Scott just shakes it off and recognizes that he's been outstanding and great all season.
Yeah, I think he liked, the locations that he was throwing to. Harper, he got the pitch a little bit in on him, but like you said, the pitch was just elevated, right? And then I really feel like the home run with Sosa, there's a pitch out over the plate. When your hitter has 2 strikes, the plate becomes wider. You don't feel like the plate is that small, right? You're expanding a little bit, got extended right there. And I know as a hitter, I've struck out enough times with the bases loaded. Sosa remembered that. He's like, I want to do something positive for my team right there. You could tell he was locked in, so just got to tip your cap right there.
Yeah, and Sosa was 3 for his last 37 before that at bat and was able to get on top of one and ride it out, and that proved to be the difference in the game. And just before that 8th inning happened, James, we saw a play that you don't really see all that often, where Mookie Betts has his 3rd base hit of the game, and Andy Pages is scoring on this play. He never actually touched home plate, but he was also never tagged, and so the umpire ruled him safe. The Phillies tried to challenge that, but you can't overturn it if it was already called safe. He didn't have to go back and touch the plate, and he was obviously never tagged either.
Yeah, I mean, Nomar brought it up, during the game, how, he called him safe, right? So you could see his foot go over there, but that's hard for an umpire to judge right there. It's a good slide by Pages. What happened was his foot got caught. It hits the dirt, so all that momentum popped his foot up. It was a good try by Real Muto right there. But, give credit to Andy right there, at least trying to stick his foot in there with the challenge. So I'm glad, we can at least keep that run on the board.
Yeah, the first challenge they had was to see if he was tagged out, to see if Real Muto got the tag. And when they looked at that, they realized, okay, he didn't get the tag, or at least there wasn't enough evidence to prove that he did get a tag on there. So that call was safe. And then it was like they came back and questioned, well, he missed home plate. Can we come and question that? It was like, not after the umpire calls you safe. Because usually, as a runner, you're like, okay, I'm called safe. A lot of times, what happens if the umpire makes 0 call, doesn't make a call out or safe one way or the other, they're basically indicating that you have not touched the bag yet. And if he didn't go back and touch the bag and just kind of went up, then he could be considered out after that. But the fact that he did call him safe and he went away, that's why they couldn't go back and question that.
I think that play was just too hard for the umpire to not call him safe, right? It's like he's trying to see the tag. He's not seeing the foot and everything. So, I mean, it's really not the umpire's fault there.
Yeah, he got the call right as far as the tag not being placed on him, but it was just the fact that his foot went over home plate. Didn't matter because the Phillies got the 3 in the 8th to win it 4-3. Let's head back upstairs, check in one final time with Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser.
Well, this looked like I was headed in the Dodgers' direction and looking like a series win, but the Phillies get 3 in the 8th and take it 4-3.
Yeah, you know, early through the game, we saw Sasaki dealing. It looked like Luzardo was really going to be on the brink of giving it up, and it just flipped in a hurry because they didn't get enough guys in with runners in scoring position.
Hand it off. I feel like I got to put my chair a little higher, even with you. We can keep going, though. Yamamoto goes tomorrow for the Dodgers, Andrew Painter for the Phillies, and what is now a rubber match.
Yeah, you know, the Dodgers almost won 7 in a row. It felt like they could have, but you know what? Tomorrow you got to just finish it off. Finish it off either early with those runs to give Yamamoto some support, which he's lacked over the last year or two. So it's going to be tough. This Phillies team has a great resume, and they're trying to wake up.
All right, Dodgers try to win the series and finish off this homestand on a high note before they hit the road to take on the Diamondbacks on Monday.
All right, Joe and Oral, thank you. Yes, one more game with the Phillies. The rubber game tomorrow at 1 p.m. with Yoshinobu Yamamoto starting here on Sportsnet LA. Then it's off to Arizona to play 4 with the surging Diamondbacks. Friday, right back home to begin a weekend freeway series against the Angels. Phillies put up 3 runs in the 8th inning, a very rare late inning loss for the Dodgers. We've got plenty of reaction coming up as that 6-game winning streak has come to an end. Access Sportsnet Dodgers is brought to you.
Motion from Alex Vesia and getting those big outs right there.
Unfortunately, the Dodgers fall to the Phillies 4-3, but that doesn't erase what a good night this was, Nomar, for Roki Sasaki, who continues his really good run of recent success tonight. What did you see from him?
You know, he did a really good job mixing up his pitches. We talk about fastball, had life on that fastball, better command, better location with it, and you know, utilizing his other pitches. We're going to go to the K zone and see how he was putting guys away, and where they hit a ball, which wasn't that bad of a spot. It was probably more of the middle of the plate that he liked, but here it is, 3-2, great split finger. Expecting a fastball from him. He gets a great split finger, but look at this fastball. This fastball wasn't necessarily that bad as far as at the top of the zone. Maybe too much of the middle, which you like, but at the same time wasn't too bad. They get to it and you tip your hat. But then he buckles down, still has that good breaking ball, good fastball still coming, still trusted, which that's what I really like. Is there are times where he tries to get too fine after a fastball may be hit for a home run and then really loses that command, but he still trusted his fastball, came back after the hitters, and then was able to mix up his pitches and still pitch off of that. That is also growing. That is a good sign, because early on it was like now he's searching for fastball. It was almost like it felt like he was getting scared to even throw it, or too much hard of the plate where he tries to be so fine with it, but he still kept pounding the zone, still trusting it, and was able to be really effective down the stretch.
Yeah, I think with that fastball, you know, a lot of times pitchers will say, okay, well, he's looking for the fastball. But if you hit the spot where you're trying to, you really feel like you've got an edge on him. And guess what? You can come back with it later, and you have this history now with him that he's got the fastball in his mind. So there's other pitches that can exploit his weaknesses as well. So I really like seeing him really pound the zone with the fastball tonight, and got 5 ground ball outs tonight, 1 fly ball out. So kept the ball down enough to get that weak contact.
Dodgers fall to the Phillies 4-3. Right now, let's go inside the clubhouse and hear from Tanner Scott speaking with Kirsten Watson and the media.
Tanner, you've been excellent all year, and even when you look at kind of breaking down the numbers, you haven't given a run up in more than a month. What do you think just led to how they were able to attack you tonight?
Well, I gave up 3 tonight, and I left a pitch. I was trying to go up, and I left it more on the plate, and it wasn't out of the strike zone with 2 strikes, and he caught me.
You've been focusing so much on just kind of the location of your pitches, especially this year. What do you think kind of led it to being, whether too much up or too much in the zone tonight?
We were trying to go up, and I thought I could get it high enough, and I left it too much in the zone, and just bad pitch.
Is it easier to flush a game like that when you've had more success this year compared to last year?
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah, turn the page. A 3-hit night for Mookie Betts was not enough, though, as the Dodgers fall 4-3. We'll hear from Dave Roberts and Roki Sasaki coming up. Strikeouts. Dodgers fall, though, 4-3, but in that bottom of the 7th inning. We thought the Dodgers were in a really good place. James, Mookie Betts RBI single gives them a 3-1 lead. A little bit of an insurance run right there. Just a great night for Mookie Betts all the way around with 3 hits and an RBI.
Yeah, it was great to see him swing the bat well, get some hard contact. And I really love the fact that he was really aggressive. I feel like he's more in this hitterish mode now lately. You know, he's not taking as many pitches as we've seen in the past. He did everything tonight. You see him getting the bat head out there, hitting a line drive. And then I love this right here. Going the other way, but it's a line drive. We've seen some lazy fly balls this year that are just going to be hard for him to get out the park. But if he can go line to line, gap to gap, I think he's going to continue this kind of hitting that, you know, we've seen the last, couple days, where I feel like he's confident that he can hit these pitches hard. I feel like before he was almost like outthinking himself a little bit of what's he going to throw me? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? It's just like, be ready to hit, trust your eyes, and then just go from there.
No, you're right. Sometimes you just got to trust your athleticism, and you touched on it. Him going the other way, that hit that he actually had a little bit more backspin and really didn't have that flare over to right field is always a good sign. Recognizing that he is staying on top of the ball. He does that more. That's when Mookie Betts is at his best, staying over the ball with that top end. The barrel stays above it, even when he's pulling it and going the other way. Great job.
And before that RBI base hit by Mookie Betts, it was the bottom 2 guys in the Dodgers lineup no more that knocked in the first 2 runs of this game, where Alex Call went 2 for 4 at a double and an RBI, and Santiago Espinal had a big sacrifice fly.
Yeah, well, and you got Miggy Rowe here doing an excellent job, just working the walk, getting on base. Alex Call fighting it out, battling, and then just putting the ball in play. We always say good things happen when you put the ball in play. Well, that's exactly what he did. Saw the effort there by the center fielder. It gets by. But then here, good job by Espinal getting the ball, the sacrifice fly. I know Espinal was upset he didn't get the button down, but then still makes sure it doesn't bother him too much and gets that sacrifice fly. Great job.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care who you are. If you're hitting 6 through 9, they're usually not trying to walk you. So these guys are showing that they have the ability to get base hits, and they're getting some off-speed pitches, and they're still being able to get base hits. And I just really feel like they're confident. They don't care where they're hitting in the lineup. They know the big guys are coming up after them to drive them in.
Dodgers fall 4-3. Let's head inside the clubhouse and hear from Roki Sasaki speaking with the media.
Roki, this offseason you added the slider. Recently you've been adding the splitter to your forkball. How much more confident have you been in the usage of those pitches?
スライダー投げ始めて、またフォークと新しい技術増やしていたんですけども、そのパーセンテージというか使い方というのはどのように今。
バッターによってもちろん変わってくるので、試合によっても変わると思いますし、ただカウントを取りたい時に取れるボールにはなっていると思いますし、そういった意味でもこのシーズンの中でも感覚がどんどん良くなっているなと思います。
Yeah, I mean, usage really depend on different hitters, and then but overall getting pretty well. So I started using pretty good.
Did tonight just kind of feel like a perfect example as to how your full pitch mix has come together, how you're able to execute them and be efficient?
今日のピッチングはもう本当全てが噛み合ってて一番良かったような例という感じはするんですけれども、いかがですか？
そうですね、ストレートが良かったので、スピードも良かったですし、投げるコースもある程度要求通りに投げれたので、その分なんていうんですか、僕らのペースでカウントをどんどん、深いところまで行くことができたかなと思います。
Yeah, I mean, fastball was really good. Beal was there, and then I was able to execute what catches called, and then so I was kind of doing my, at my own pace.
How did you get the fastball velocity back to where it previously has been?
球速が戻ってきたと思うんですけど、それどのように戻してきたんですか？
基本的にやってることは特に前の試合と大きく変えたことはないんですけど、ただ体の機能的に、コンディションもどんどん良くなっているので、そういうところかなと思います。
Yeah, mechanically I haven't changed really that much, but my physical condition is getting better, so I think it's because of that.
You were pretty emphatic when you first came over to the United States about trying to get the velocity back. What do you think has allowed that to finally sort of happen here on a night like tonight?
アメリカ来た時に球速を戻そうということで来たと言ってたと思うんですけども、それが今日どのようにして本当に良くなっていったのかっていう。
ここ数日で何か変えたってわけではなくて、ただオフからやってきたことが、キャンプシーズン初めの頃で気づいたことを積み重ねてきて、その中で最後微調整したりして うまくはまったっていうことだけかなと思います。
Basically, I have kept doing the same thing and then stacking small things, and then now it feels like it all put together right now. So.
How important is it for you to perform the way you did in a game like this, where runs were tough to come by, and how big of a step is this for you?
Sorry, can you say that again?
How important is it for you to perform the way you did tonight in a game in which runs were tough to come by, and how big of a step is this for you?
今日このようなできて、いいステップ踏みだと思うんですけれども、どのように感じてますか？
そうですね、内容も良かったと思いますし、何よりパフォーマンスも上がってきたので、しっかりこれを最低限維持できたら、自分の中で計算できることも変わってくると思うので、まずはパフォーマンスを維持して、打たれる時もあると思うんですけど、そこはキャッチャーと、ピッチングコーチと協力しながら自分としては自分のパフォーマンスを高めて、しっかりキャッチャーの要求通りに、投げれるように準備するってことだけだと思います。
Yeah, performance has been really good so far. So I just keep communicating with pitchers and also catchers, and then I try to execute what catchers called.
Were you surprised?
Andy Pages and the Dodgers have another chance to win the series coming up tomorrow afternoon. We'll look ahead to the rubber game, and we will hear from the skipper.